Hey guys, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts right now that I'm having because I feel like they're interesting, and I think that some people might relate to them and some people might find them useful. But I just feel like, or I've been getting the feeling that a lot of the problems that I've had in my life kind of stemmed from the fact that I tried to separate everything into its own little box and try to treat it as only that separated little thing. So I would have okay, this is my job, or this is my sports, this is my going to the gym, this is my creative side, this is my adventuring side, this is my friends, and everything is kind of disconnected. And it sometimes ends up being you're tracking through different, I don't know, almost tracking through different stages of the day, depending on what you're doing, and you're not feeling really present because you've basically created this expectation of, I'm gonna play soccer, this is how it's gonna be, and then it doesn't matter what you were doing before, and it doesn't matter what you were doing after. This expectation that you set is kind of what you're gonna force onto yourself, and I mean that's not even always bad, and there can definitely be good from that. But I just feel like I'm starting to understand that if instead of separating everything you do into these kind of distinct categories and not relating any of them, it kind of I don't know, it kills the vibes a little sometimes. It doesn't allow you to be as present in the moment, and so I feel like over I don't know, maybe the past day and a half I've been getting this realization. But I feel like for maybe a month of therapy and just thinking and trying to understand what's wrong with my thought patterns. Why are my thought patterns negative? Why do I feel bad on certain days? Why is it that I seem to be doing the right thing but still not feeling good about it? And kind of having thought through that, I feel like I'm finally getting to a point where I'm starting to understand a little bit more about at least how my brain works, and why it's important to integrate and to be constantly present in every activity you do, and that means that things carry over, right? Not everything is disconnected. Things start feeling more connected. You start feeling more involved. You're not treating everything as separately, and you're also not treating everything as just a mundane drill or I have to do this. It's more so I get to do this, and kind of flipping it and turning it into a gratitude type situation where it's I'm thankful that I get the opportunity to do this, and I think that can turn even mundane activities and mundane tasks into something that is real and that actually feels real. And all of a sudden you stop dissecting your life into Monday through Friday I just have a bunch of classes, I have a bunch of homework, and it's just stuff I do, and then I have these workouts throughout the week, and it's just you do this thing, and it becomes almost I don't know, almost you're zombie walking through it all, and it's you kind of know the motions and you're just repeating the motions, but you're not really present, you're not really engaged, and then you try and say okay, finally now it's the weekend, now it's Saturday, now it's Sunday, now I have a free day, I have some free time, let me actually go and break the pattern and do something new, and then you kind of feel bad on Sunday night because you're well, now I'm going back to this zombie walk through life. And I think a lot of it is, you've probably seen all the memes or joking that the 9 to 5 is a rat race, and how it's just the same thing over and over again. you're not making much progress. And I mean, there's a lot of aspects to that meme, and kind of a lot of them are like, economic aspects, and they're related to how the economy is really changing, and how the relationship between employer and employee has changed over the years, but especially at large corporations. But I still think that there's something to it, to just trying to be more present and more in the moment every day, no matter what you're doing, to be present there. And I think I'm going to try doing that more, and I feel like I have been doing that more, kind of slightly, like little by little. So I wanted to share that. I don't know if you'll find this useful, or maybe everything I say just sounds like nonsense, but it makes sense to me, at least. So hopefully it made some sense to you. So yeah, I feel like it's, I don't know, I feel like things are changing, at least in my mind, in my life. And I mean, things are definitely changing across the world a lot, every day. So I feel like this next period is really going to be about like molding something new and different, and that's going to be both a personal task of molding your own life into something new and something different and something that you want, but I think also to have it be like a community task of like forming your community, or at least maybe your group of friends, into something new, something better, something where people are more present and less on their phones. And I think the same thing will hopefully happen on a global scale of like, reforming countries and government, and just, I don't know, the overall situation of the earth into something better. And so these are kind of different levels of reform and change, but I do feel like they're still connected in a way, because I feel like every little part that even you do to reform your life, it has a tiny impact on the bigger goals and the bigger communities. And I think that's important to remember, that a lot of the times, and I've struggled with this a lot, but a lot of the times you'll see like the news, and you'll be monitoring the situation, just like glued to your phone, watching every stream, seeing every conspiracy, like forming opinions, and you just get frustrated, and you get sometimes this feeling of like helplessness, because you think like, well, what can I do about this? And the answer is like, you basically can't do anything about all of this, right? All of this is too much for one person to handle. But I think the fact is that the way to do more about this is to look inwards and try to start from there, and look inside and try to build your own life and make it better, and then maybe try to help your friends do that, try to help your family do that. So yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to presence, and I think presence is actually a very interesting concept, because to me it seems like it's a much more complicated concept, I think, than you initially think, because there's just like so much to understanding like what does that really mean. But if I had to define it, I would say presence means being in the moment and being focused on the hand at task, and paying attention to other people. If it's a group activity, it would be paying attention to other people and how they're doing, and interacting with them, and being honest with them. but also if it's a solo activity, then maybe being focused and interacting with a book, or with with writing code. So yeah, I think presence is very important. So it's definitely a concept I'd love to keep thinking about. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. So hope everybody has a good week. I know it's almost Monday now, so have a great week of work or school or whatever you're doing. And yeah, see you in the next one.